right? It's May 9th, 2019. What's going on in day trading world here? Let's see. So I had two trades today. I'm going to show you which ones they were in a second. I was actually tracking this too. It's Waiter Holdings, I think it's called. Popped up on I don't think it was a gapping list. Yeah, I think it was a gapping list actually, because it had gapped up. Yeah, see, gapped up. This was yesterday. Gapped up about almost 50 cents, but then dropped a lot through both. Well, it never broke the review app, but it dropped below this 200 moving average. A nice flat. You always like to see the flat moving average. Dropped down, kind of bottomed out, and worked its way back up. I was thinking of getting in right here around 907. I didn't, and went up to about 946. So it would have been a nice, almost 40-cent gain. I just didn't get in it. But in the trade I did get in this morning, it popped up in my trade ideas. Here it is. It was the first one of the day at 950 NEM, which is Newmont Gold Corp. Corp. It's redundant. I got in right when it broke through the 200 moving average here. Now, this scan, I created it myself. It only has it basically alerts anywhere between just like 5 or 10-ish alerts a day to as many as 30 or 40. And because I have a lot of specific criteria in here, but what I'm looking for is usually early in the day like this, are stocks that are above VWAP, the purple line, approaching this 200 moving average. Because a lot of times, especially when it's flat, this is almost kind of flat. You don't like to see where it's kind of diving down or up. When it's flat like this, you get more of a pop, which is exactly what happened here. It alerted me at 950 at 30.27, and I got in at 30.29. And you could see what happened right after I got in. It just kept going up. So I took some out right here at 30.41. Not a really big gain, 12 cents. But I knew that because this is really a scalping scan. I'm really looking to just scalp these plays because they usually pop up really quick. And if they could continue on, but a lot of the times they'll just all of a sudden start to drop. And look what happened. It did exactly that. So I took some out here, and I was kind of hoping it would get back to the high of yesterday. I'll just bring it up on the 8 AMA. So I was hoping it would see it kind of broke. This red line, by the way, is my pivot line that Interactive Brokers actually puts in for you. So I should have known that this could have been resistance right here, which it was. You can see it got right up to that pivot line and then it couldn't break it. But I was kind of hoping if it did break it, it kind of held this, it would go back up to around like 31-ish area. But it didn't do that. So got in right after it broke through this little wedge. That's why I call it the wedge VWAP 200 moving average wedge, because it's either got to pop or drop. And here it popped and then it dropped. And then as it started dropping back down towards my entry, I took out the rest at 30.36. So a 7-cent gain there and a 12-cent gain here. So nothing tremendous, but I was just really just looking to get a little bit of a scalp play here, which I did. So it was fine. And in the end, like when I got in here, I pretty much put my stop right before yesterday's close, or right below yesterday's close, which was around 30.19. I got in at 29, so like 10 to 15. Actually, I think I put it even further down around here at 30.17. So about a 12-cent stop. So I would have gotten out right there anyway for a loss. This would have been a loss on the long term. So making a little bit of money on the scalp was fine by me. But the play that I really liked, which I'm a little upset about because I didn't play it the way I should have. I still played it correctly. I just could have done better. Was Camping World Holdings. This was actually a gapping scan. It showed up on my gappers top list. It might not be. Oh, there's an alert coming. Oh, it's another one of my VWAP wedge plays. Let's see what's that. MOS. So you could see here. I'll just put it here. You can see here. Okay, so now this is one that I would be wary about because you can kind of see how the 200 moving average is moving down on an angle on the yearly. So you can see it's a stock that's been moving down a lot. So kind of hard to expect it to do much today, even though the SPY has now kicked up, so the market is doing really well. But if you look, this is the kind of one I probably wouldn't get too interested in because it's moving away from VWAP, which is fine, but the 200 moving average is moving down. So I would honestly like I honestly like these when they're a little bit more flat. The 200 moving average is flat, and you can get a little bit better of a pop. It could still go. You can see it's above the 10 EMA on a 15-minute chart, so that's good. So I mean, it's not a bad looking play here. Mosaic, I think they had earnings a couple days ago. If I was to get in here at 23.56, I'd probably put my stop below, like probably like this level, 23.39-ish, for like a 17-cent stop. But for that, you'd probably need it to get up to around this yesterday's close area. It's kind of tough. Could do it. I'll put a little arrow here saying, that's where I'd get in. Anyway, back to Camping World, where I think it was in this list, this Gappers list. This top list. It's not there anymore because it's not fitting. I don't think it's fitting the criteria. But so anyway, yeah, this is the stock that I got in mainly because I'm watching. These are the plays that honestly are automatic for me. I just, as soon as I see this formation, I'm in it. It's a stock that gapped down. Okay, I think this was earnings actually. So here's each one of these is a daily chart. Gap down below this 50 moving average on a daily, and it opened right here, right? So it gapped from about 14 to 13. Okay. So I'm watching it, and it's moving down from the gap. Moving down, start of the day, then kind of moving sideways. Now look at this. As soon as the 8 EMA catches up to it, I watch this very closely. How does it behave? It holds that 8 EMA. It's using that as resistance. Now, the kicker is when the 20 SMA catches up. Once that catches up, usually, if it's still holding that 8 EMA, it means it's going to continue down. And in this case, I was expecting a slower burn, like an all day. I honestly thought this trade would last me the whole day almost, where I would just keep riding it and moving my stop down and down, following it all the way down, hoping for a big. But what happened was it dropped so quickly right here. Look, I got in right here at 12:02, right? Got in at 12:02, and 12:03. Sorry, don't short myself a cent there. Got in at 12:03, and right away, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, as the 20 SMA caught up, it dropped, right, to 11.92. Then it kept going to my first stop here, which was around 11.80. What was it? What did I get out? Yeah, 11.83. So I got in at 12.03, and I got out at 11.83. So just 20 cents. But I was happy with that because I took a little bit more shares, and that's all I really wanted. And it had moved so quickly. You could see it almost kind of moved away, too far away from the... in retrospect, it doesn't look like it moved that far away from the 8 EMA right here. But, to me, as it was dropping really quickly, I was like, all right, usually when stocks move that quickly, there could be a bounce. Quite honestly, usually it's the other way. If a stock pops, like when I showed you on the other stock that I played today, when there's a big bounce up or a spike up, the tendency is for the stocks to kind of fall back pretty quickly. But with shorts, when stocks are dropping really quickly, they can kind of keep going for a while. I just got nervous because I just wanted to keep my winning streak going for the day. So I just got out right at my first target, and a 20-cent drop, and I took it. So I was happy with that. But look what happened after I got out. I got out at 11.83. It went all the way down to 11.04. I got in at 12.03. So that's a whole dollar. I mean, 99 cents. I really wish I held on to some shares, at least to get down to the low 11.30 range. I would have been really happy with that. Not that this wasn't a win. It's just I just didn't anticipate this. I anticipated this happening slowly throughout the day, not this quickly. So it was kind of a bummer that I got out all my shares so early. Still a win, but then you see it bounced. Honestly, once it broke through 8 EMA here, probably could have played it for a long, but whatever. So that was the trade. Camping World and Newmont Gold Corp. Quick spike up. That's it. Those are the plays. There's a lot of other stocks today. I showed you this when I was watching. And I think there's one other. Oh yeah, Upwork. So I saw this one as a gap or two. See it gap down today. Yeah. So I wanted to get in right here at 1886. I didn't, and then look what happened. Another one. Look at this 8 EMA. So it's following. It was kind of sloppy, but it's still using that as resistance. And this would have been a little early, but I should have waited until right here anyway, and that would have confirmed it, just like the other stock, just like Camping World. Could have gotten in at 1879, put your stop at around 1890-ish, so 11 cents, really nothing. 1879 all the way down to 1836. So over 40 cents. Damn, I wish I got that one. Anyway, that's it. Until next time.